Do you ever feel like you're just tired all the time? You spend your days chronically exhausted, and yet when it comes time for sleep, you never quite feel fully rested. It's frustrating, right? Especially because high quality sleep is vital to good health, to repairing your cells and regulating your metabolism. Unfortunately, poor sleep is a more common problem than you might think. In fact, research shows that 1 in 3 of us aren't getting enough sleep on a regular basis. And if that's you too, then today's episode might just be exactly what you need to finally get a good night's sleep. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Ruth Sukup, and here we'll talk about everything from the science of weight loss to practical tips for making your health a priority in the midst of a busy life. It's a little bit nerdy, a little bit funny, and a little bit revolutionary. So buckle up, friend, because it's about to get real. Hey there, and welcome back to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast, formerly known as the Ditch the Carbs podcast. Once again, my name is Ruth Sukup, and I'm the founder of Thinlicious and the creator of the Thin Adapted System, as well as the New York Times bestselling author of 7 books. And if this is your first time listening, then you should probably also know that I am pretty much obsessed with one thing: helping women over 40 create freedom in their lives by transforming your health. I like to think of it as starting a health revolution, and that's really what this podcast is all about. It's about the freedom to feel your best, the freedom to not be controlled by food addictions ever again, and the freedom to confidently pursue all of your big goals and dreams because your health and weight issues are no longer holding you back. And I'll just tell you right now, if that gets you excited, then you're probably going to like it around here. We are health rebels, and we are not afraid to question the status quo or do it a little differently and forge our own path. Because the truth is that when it comes to our health, everything is connected. Our health is connected to our emotions and to our thought life and to our mindset. Our bodies are connected to our brains, and also that's all connected to what we put into it, right? What we put into one affects the other. Our energy is connected to our productivity and to our ability to show up in the world and make an impact. And if you truly want to live your best and most fulfilling life, it all matters. But I also know that for a lot of women, this is actually a really big mindset shift to make. We have spent so much of our lives not really taking care of our health, right? We've been just kind of mindlessly eating the standard American diet and consuming way too much sugar and processed food without really thinking about what it's actually doing to us. We spend so much time at our desks. We take medications to deal with whatever symptom comes up. You have a headache, you pop an Advil, right? All these symptoms that come up, and we just tell ourselves that it's not really a big deal, that we're mostly fine, and that this is just what life is like, right? It's just part of getting older, having the aches and pains, having the heartburn, having the indigestion, all these things. And all of a sudden you start to realize, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to feel like this. It's amazing to learn that, but also really overwhelming. I think sometimes it can just be so like mind-boggling when you start to realize the truth of what all of these choices that you've been making have been doing to your body. And I think honestly, it can be a little bit shocking, right? To find out that the food that you thought was healthy has actually been wreaking havoc on your body, on your blood sugar levels and your insulin resistance and your gut health and your hormones. And it can be shocking to realize that the reason that you're having so much trouble losing weight isn't because you're lazy or because you don't have willpower, but because your body has literally been messed up, right? It's literally been adapted to store fat rather than burn it because of all these other things that's going on. And I think it can also be a little bit hard to wrap your brain around the fact that all of this stuff actually matters, right? And that the only way to really get healthy and to lose weight in a sustainable way is to actually heal your body from the inside out by making better choices and changing the way that you eat and learning to work with your body instead of against it. But it's not always the most obvious changes that will have the biggest impact on your health. And I think one of the things that I've really come to believe is that it's the little changes that you make that end up making the biggest difference in the long run. I used to be so dramatic with everything, right? I'd have to if I was going to change one thing, I was going to change everything. And I'd go and drink all the water and do all the things. And then all of a sudden I would fizzle out. But it's actually the little things, right? It's the little things that you're doing that are making the biggest difference in the long run. It's about making sustainable lifestyle changes that you can actually stick with over the long haul rather than just going on yet another diet. Because, I say this all the time, but diets don't work. They never have, they never will. The definition of a diet is that it's something that you do for a short period of time. And then as soon as you stop doing it, you just go back to what you were doing before. And if what you were doing before wasn't working, if it's what led you to feel this way, meaning you weren't happy with the way that you felt or with your energy levels or with your weight, then guess what? You're just going to end up right back where you started. And so the key to actually transforming your health and your life is to start making those changes that you can actually stick with day in and day out for the rest of your life. And in order to do that, you also have to believe that those changes are worth it. And that's why I always say, right? I've talked a lot about mindset these last couple of weeks, but I always say the most important thing that you can do is to change your mind. You have to change the way that you think. You have to change those thoughts and the words that you're saying, because those are going to change your beliefs. And once you do that, then all the other changes become so much easier. And honestly, I think I could talk about all the different ways you need to change your thinking and your belief for hours, which is why I guess I have a podcast, because I could keep talking about all of this stuff for the rest of my life and not be done. It is a big topic. It's a big shift. It is a big deal. In fact, it's such a big deal that I've actually put together a new on-demand video training that can actually walk you through some of this stuff. I'm really excited about it. Some of you got to see it live, but now we put it together as an on-demand video. So if you missed it and you were really sad, I know there were a lot of people who were like, are you going to do it again? It's called Healthy, Happy, and Free in 2024. And you guys, it's really good. It's really good. I walk you through all sorts of stuff, how to actually create a plan through the mindset stuff, through how our program works, through the science of it, right? Like there's just so much to it. It's very meaty. It's also totally free to watch. You just go to thinlicious.com/video to get access. So again, that link is thinlicious.com/video. And if you watched it with me live a few weeks ago and you were like, oh, I really want the replay, I really want to see that again because we had a lot of people asking for that, then you can go and watch this. It's an on-demand video. So you'll be able to start it and stop it. If you didn't get to take all your notes, you can go and watch it again. It's really good. So again, that's thinlicious.com/video. But back to today's topic, I think one of the biggest mindset shifts that we have to make, and it's something that we don't always talk about and we don't always take very seriously, is the realization that the way that you're sleeping or maybe not sleeping is actually having a huge impact on your health and well-being. Because the reality is that if you're not sleeping well, it's not just your energy levels that are suffering, right? It's not just that you're a little bit tired or that you just need a little bit more sleep. It's not just that you need another cup of coffee in the morning. It's that your ability to function and to actually feel your best is severely compromised. It's that your mental clarity and your focus are suffering, right? It's that your emotional health is being affected. And not only that, it's that your weight loss efforts are being totally derailed by the fact that you're not getting good sleep. And not only that, your risk for chronic disease is going way up. So it's really important, right? And that's why I want to spend today talking about that, about sleep and about the impact it's having on your health and the simple changes that you can make today, right? These aren't like things to change sometime in the future. I'm going to give you very practical things that you can do today to start getting better sleep. Because the reality is that if you are on a health journey, and especially if you are trying to lose weight, then you have to know this, right? You have to know that sleep and weight loss are connected. They are inextricably linked. You can't address one without the other. And trying to lose weight without also trying to improve the quality of your sleep could just be a recipe for disaster, right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to have any success, but you're going to have so much more success with whatever weight loss journey you're on if you are also getting better sleep. So let's dive in and talk about why exactly sleep is so important and what you can do to make sure that you are getting enough of the right kind of sleep every single night. All right, so first things first, why exactly does sleep matter so much? Well, it turns out that sleep is a lot more than just a way for our bodies to recharge, right? It's, in fact, there are a whole host of things that happen to our bodies when we sleep that simply don't happen when we're awake, or that are severely impeded when we're not getting enough sleep. So, for one, sleep is when our bodies are able to repair and regenerate. It's when our cells are able to do the work of healing and our hormones are able to rebalance. It's also when our bodies are able to flush out toxins and other waste products, which is why a lack of sleep is often linked to higher risk of chronic disease, including heart disease, stroke, and cancer. Not only that, sleep is also when our brains are able to process and store memories, and when we're able to go through our day and make sense of all the things that have happened to us. It's where our brains are able to do all this sort of important behind the scenes work of organizing and sorting so that we can actually function at our best when we're awake. And finally, sleep is also when our bodies are able to regulate our blood sugar levels and our metabolism, which, as you can probably imagine, is a really big deal. In fact, a lack of sleep or poor quality sleep is often linked to insulin resistance and weight gain because it's throwing off our hormones. It's making it way harder for our bodies to properly regulate energy. So, suffice to say, sleep is important. It's so important. It's like literally the third pillar of good health, right? There's diet, there's exercise, and there's sleep. And yet, it's the pillar that I think we too often neglect. In fact, in the United States, sleep deprivation has practically become an epidemic, right? It's something that's getting worse and worse and worse, and has been shown to be getting worse and worse over the past several decades. According to a recent study by the CDC, which, to be fair, is not actually my favorite organization right now for reasons we won't talk about in this podcast, but don't love the CDC, but they do some, I guess, some valid research these days. But according to the CDC, a third of American adults aren't getting enough sleep on a regular basis. And the problem for most people isn't just that we're staying up too late, right? It's that the actual quality of our sleep is suffering too. So, what is causing the sleep epidemic and how has it gotten so bad? Well, the reality is that there's a lot of things that have changed in our modern world, especially just over the last 20 or 30 years, that have made it way more difficult for us to get the kind of sleep that we need. So, electricity in the light bulb was the first thing that screwed everybody up because it extended our waking hours far beyond what they used to be. And that means that we often don't go to bed early enough to get a full night's sleep, and we wake up too early, right? We're not dependent on the sun for light anymore. But then the internet came along, right? The internet, smartphones made the problems way worse because now we have access to screens and technology 24/7, which stimulates our brains and makes it way harder for us to wind down and fall asleep. But it's not just technology that has made a difference in the sleep, right? Just the modern world is way more stressful than it used to be. And maybe the stress is related to technology. I don't know. Or maybe it's related to the fact that everybody seems to be completely crazy right now, right? But that stress and that ongoing chronic stress has a really big impact on our ability to get a good night's sleep. We're exposed to more chemicals and more toxins in our environment. Those can interfere with sleep. Our diets have changed a lot, especially because so many of us are consuming way too much sugar, way too many processed food. That's affecting our hormones, and that's also affecting our ability to sleep. So really, when you think about it, it's almost like this perfect storm of things and elements that have come together to create this basically sleep epidemic. Unfortunately, it is an epidemic that's having a lot of far-reaching consequences, right? Especially on our health and well-being, basically as a society. Maybe the reason that we're all crazy is because we're not getting enough sleep. Because the reality is that when we're not getting that sleep, or when the quality of our sleep is poor, it's affecting every area of our lives, from our physical health to our emotional health to our mental well-being, right? All the things. So what are the consequences of not getting enough sleep or not getting good quality sleep? Well, for one, this probably is pretty obvious, but it can have a really big impact on our energy levels and on our ability to function. If you have ever had a night of tossing and turning, and then you've had to try to get through a full day of work and taking care of the kids and doing all the things, then right? Maybe you feel like, yeah, that's every day for me, Ruth. But you know how debilitating it can be. If this is something that's happening to you on a regular basis, then that's when the chronic fatigue is setting in, right? And that's affecting every single area of your life. It's affecting your mental health. It leads to way more anxiety and depression and cognitive impairment, the brain fog, right? Just the inability to think as clearly as you normally would. You can't concentrate, it's hard to remember things. And not only that, poor sleep is also linked to all these chronic diseases, right? I mentioned that already. There's heart disease and stroke and cancer. It's been linked to weight gain and obesity because it's throwing off our hormones. It's making it harder for our bodies to properly regulate energy. And if you're on a weight loss journey, obviously, this is going to be a big deal. This is a big thing. The consequences of poor sleep are significant. It's affecting every single area of our lives, from physical to mental to weight and even the risk of disease. And so that's why, if you are serious about transforming your health and just about losing weight, then this is something, like, you can't not take this seriously, right? Yeah. And because we always kind of have this, oh yeah, I know I need more sleep. Oh yeah, I don't sleep well, right? Like, I'm putting out the alarm, right? I'm sounding the alarm right now. This is actually something that really matters, and it matters today. It matters tonight. It matters with the way that you handle this in the here and now, because it's a really, really, really big deal. If you are not sleeping well, you are making it so much harder for yourself in all areas of your life than it has to be. You are missing out on all the benefits that come from getting good sleep, and you're making it harder to lose weight. You're making it harder to get healthy. You're making it harder to do all this other stuff. So let's talk about what you can actually do to start improving your sleep and why this matters so much, right? The good news is that there are actually a lot of really simple changes that you can start making, like, right now, to improve the quality of your sleep. And, like, old habits are hard to break, right? Old habits die hard. But I think that the things I'm going to go through with you today, guys, are simple. They are simple changes, and the benefits of better sleep are definitely worth it. So here are my top 5. And I really had to think about this, right? Because there's like a million things that you can do to improve your sleep. But I feel like these are the top 5 super simple changes that you can make almost immediately, literally today, to start improving the duration and the quality of your sleep. Okay. So get ready to write these down. Number 1, start taking magnesium. If you are not already doing a magnesium supplement, you gotta be on it, right? Get on the magnesium. It's such an important mineral, and it plays a role in over like 300 different biochemical reactions in the body. But one of those is regulating sleep. And also, because of the changes in our modern diet, right? And even the way that food is grown, most people are now magnesium deficient. It used to be something that we would get a lot of, and it wasn't really a big deal, like back in the days where we grew our own food. But now most people today are magnesium deficient. And that's a big deal. And just this one change can actually be a game changer for your sleep. So, what I recommend is taking a highly absorbable form of magnesium. So, preferably magnesium glycinate is probably the best. Magnesium citrate is okay, but that can be good if you have problems with, like, not going to the bathroom and need help keeping things moving. The magnesium citrate might be a little better, but for most people, magnesium glycinate is really good. And I also recommend taking it like an hour before bedtime. It's not necessarily going to make you sleepy, So some people get worried about that. Like, can I not take it in the morning? It doesn't really make you sleepy. It just helps your body to relax. So it can have a calming effect, which means that taking it in the evening can be really, really helpful. So that's number one. Start taking magnesium. Okay. Super simple. I told you these were super simple. Just go to the store. If you don't have magnesium, get on Amazon, 1-day delivery, get it to your house and start taking that. Number two, avoid caffeine and alcohol close to bedtime. So, and I know this is hard for me because I love my wine. I love my coffee too, but I don't drink coffee beyond about 11 o'clock in the morning. But caffeine can actually stay in your system for a really long time. So if you have trouble falling asleep, definitely avoid caffeine after lunchtime. That includes sodas, right? Which hopefully you're avoiding anyways, but definitely avoid caffeine after lunchtime. And so alcohol can be tough, right? Because we hear like, oh, drink a glass of wine to help relax. And it might make you feel sleepy at first, but it actually disrupts the quality of your sleep, and it can make you wake up more often or make you not sleep as soundly, right? You don't go into as deep of a sleep. So avoid, if you're really struggling with sleep, maybe avoiding alcohol or cutting back can help a lot. So in any case, limit alcohol consumption before bed, or try to avoid it, and avoid caffeine anytime other than just in the morning. And be really stringent about that, because it really will make a big difference. So that's the second thing. The third thing is to create your own sort of bedtime wind down routine, right? Like if you've raised children, you know that kids do better when they have a consistent bedtime routine, right? Like that's just, I mean, I had two babies, and I wish my kids had a bedtime routine now, right? Now that they're teenagers, but they don't. But when they were little, we had kind of all the things that we would do to get them ready for bed, and get your jammies on and brush your teeth, and we would read a story, and my husband would draw pictures on their back, and do these little things to help them wind down and get ready for bed, and just kind of like put themselves into that mode. Well, adults can definitely benefit from this as well, right? So think about what your bedtime routine would be. And this is where like you got to maybe start changing some habits, right? Of what you're doing right now. Think about what you're doing and how you could change that to just sort of allow yourself to wind down. So maybe it's reading, right? And not reading something stressful, but reading something just really like calming, or relaxing, or something that makes you sleepy, right? Like, and this is probably a terrible thing to say, but like I like to read the Bible because I get sleepy when I read the Bible. I think there's something about the cadence or something, I don't know, and I like to listen to it on audio, an audiobook. It's what I listen to if I can't fall asleep, right? I listen to Johnny Cash reads the Bible, or Johnny Cash reads the New Testament, because his voice and just the soothing cadence of it puts me right to sleep. But you could do something like meditating, or taking a warm bath, or just being really calm, or whatever it is that's going to make you feel calm. Maybe it's just sitting in front of a fire. There's a lot of, somebody was just telling me this within our program, one of our certified coaching program the other day, is that when you are staring at a fire, like a candle or fire, it actually starts to relax your brain. But anything that you can do to sort of signal to your brain that it's time to wind down and get ready for sleep. Something that I've actually been doing lately, that I really like. We just moved to a new house, and we have a bathtub, which we didn't have before, in our master bathroom. And so I got some mineral magnesium bath salts to do mineral baths in the evening. And man, I'll tell you what, those will definitely relax you, right? You're getting the added benefit of more magnesium. And then you're just like, the lights down low and the warm water, and it's so soothing. So you could take a bath, you could take a shower, whatever's going to help calm you. So that's the third thing, is to create a bedtime wind down routine that's going to help you relax a little bit more before bed. And then number 4 goes closely with that, is to avoid screens, right? Right now, your wind down routine might be watching TV or sitting on your phone, reading the news, right? We're so addicted to our screens. And this is a really, really big one. But it's important to try to avoid screens for at least an hour, preferably 2 or 3 hours before bed. And here's why. The blue light that is being emitted from those screens is messing with your ability to sleep, right? It's suppressing the production of melatonin, and that's a hormone that helps to regulate our sleep wake cycle. And it's stimulating your brain rather than allowing it to calm down. And so replacing whatever habit you have right now of looking at your phone or watching TV for the last couple hours of the night with something that is non-screen related, right? Reading a book or playing a game or doing a crossword puzzle, right? Doing just something very non-techy is going to make a huge, huge difference. And if you have to watch a screen, right? If you are like, I can't go to bed without watching TV, then at least invest in some blue light blocking glasses, right? If you absolutely have to use the screens, wear the blue light blocker glasses at night if you're close to bedtime, because that will help a lot. It's better to avoid them altogether, but that's better than nothing, right? Sometimes it's progress over perfection. So that's the fourth thing. Fifth thing is to create a sleep friendly environment. So in the short term, right? Like today, is going to mean making sure your bedroom is as dark as possible, right? Also as cool as possible and as quiet as possible. So that's something that you could do right now is just do what you can to make it dark, cool, and quiet. I would say it also helps to have it be tidy, right? Sometimes people's master bedrooms become the catch-all of all your laundry and all your stuff that you don't know what to do with, because people don't really go into your bedroom. And so you think, oh, well, I can have all my craft stuff in here and I can have all the things. I don't recommend that, right? You want your bedroom to actually be a sanctuary. The less stuff in there and the more that you have it created as this sort of place for rest, the more effective your sleep is going to be. So longer term, that might mean actually giving your bedroom a sleep focused makeover, right? Making it a place where you go to sleep and get good rest, where it's telling your brain that you're going here to sleep and get good rest. So things like, first of all, getting rid of all the clutter is going to be a big deal if you are the person that's got all the stuff in your bedroom. But then installing blackout curtains, maybe even an extra air conditioner to keep the temperature around 65 degrees, right? You want to keep the temperature cool. Maybe getting a white noise machine if there is noises, maybe putting more insulation in the room to keep it quieter. And oddly enough, research has also shown that sleeping in all white bedding can actually dramatically improve the quality of your sleep, right? Have you ever heard that before? It's crazy. So that's why a lot of times why hotels, when you go to a nice hotel, it's all white bedding. And my husband and I actually switched to this years ago, to all white bedding for everyone, for our kids, for us. And he likes it because he can bleach everything and he thinks it's easier to keep clean. He does the laundry. But I love it because I feel like we all sleep better in this white bedding. But it's important to pay attention to the quality of your mattress and your pillows and your sheets and your comforter, right? Like getting high quality sheets that feel really good on your skin, getting a good pillow that feels comfortable for whatever way that you sleep, getting a good mattress or at least a mattress topper so that your bed is like this cozy, comfortable, clean, neat place that you're getting into and you can just relax. And here's what I want to say. Sometimes people are like, I just don't really care about my bedroom, right? I just don't really care. It's the thing that nobody really sees, but you see it. Not only that, this is where a third of your time in your lifetime is spent in bed, basically, right? It's worth investing in the good stuff, and it's worth making your bedroom a haven where you can go and actually sleep. So all of those changes are things that you could, make relatively quickly, right? That are potentially going to have a big impact on the quality of your sleep. But I think longer term, once you've sort of done these basic things, right? These quick, easy things, changes that you can make right now, longer term, you'll also want to consider implementing bigger things, right? Things that are going to be more bigger projects that you have to work on for a while. So like stress management and finding ways to de-stress yourself and to calm yourself, right? Maybe that's a lot of mindset work, a lot of mental work that you're going to have to be doing. getting regular exercise, not too close to bedtime, right? You don't want to do strenuous exercise right before bed, but exercising on a regular basis has been shown to help sleep, right? Sticking to a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day is going to be really helpful. Changing your diet to avoid foods that are disrupting sleep. So, avoiding processed foods and a lot of sugar, right? All of those things are going to help with your sleep as well. So, in the end, I think it's pretty clear that sleep is playing such a critical role in our overall health and well being. And in today's world, with all the technology and all the things that are going on, it can be really easy to neglect this area of our lives. But hopefully, after this episode, you see that making some small changes and just prioritizing some good sleep habits, you can actually reverse a lot of this damage. You can start to reap the benefits that come from getting quality rest. So, guys, here's my plea for you. Start taking your sleep seriously, all right? Make it a priority in your life. It's good for your health, it's good for your weight loss, and honestly, it's good for your overall health, happiness. So, that's it. That's all I got for you today. My lecture is over. Hopefully, this was helpful. And if you found this helpful, or you know that somebody who's not getting good sleep right now and you think they would benefit, please pass this on, right? Send them a text, send them the link in an email, whatever. And of course, if you want to hear more episodes and you are not already a subscriber of this podcast, please do that as well. And I will see you soon for our next episode.